chairman of New England Fan Experience, and the person who's making this all possible for you this weekend. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you very much. I'm not the person making it all possible for you this weekend. You're the people making it possible for all of us. So thank you all very much for being with us. I would like to now introduce a gentleman that is a legend, and I can't believe how lucky I am to be able to bring to the New England Fan Experience Mr. Leonard Nimoy. We'd like to present to you, so Paul Aldred, who's the president of United FanCon Incorporated. It's been around for 18 years.
Yeah.
It's got a presentation for you right now. And
Okay. Hi, Paul.
On behalf of the City of Boston, I would like to present you with a proclamation from our Mayor, Thomas Benito, declaring today Leonard Nimoy Day.
Where's the mayor?
He actually hurt his ankles, he couldn't make it today.
This is very nice. Thank you very, very much. I'm very flattered, and it's great to be home. Thank you.
All right. Proclamation. Whereas Boston native Leonard Nimoy first appeared on national television's Star Trek series as Spock in it says 63, but I believe it was 66, correct? And now has...
They went to all this trouble and they got it wrong.
They just tried to trip me up, but I know my Star Trek. And now has 45 years later returned to that character in a film of the same name. And whereas Leonard Nimoy has returned to Boston this weekend to appear at the New England Fan Experience, a multi-genre event which is geared towards public interest in learning more about science fiction, popular culture, gaming, animation, plus science and technology. And whereas New England Fan Experience panels, seminars, workshops, and discussions offer a well-rounded, entertaining learning experience as a program that benefits Boston's people, young and old. And whereas this weekend's New England Fan Experience represents a remarkably interesting gathering of some of Massachusetts' finest actors and artists, including Leonard Nimoy, local author Wayne Spencer, and published manga artist Bettina Kurkowski. And whereas the City of Boston takes great pride in the cultural contributions of those who create entertainment in modern media and popular culture in our city. Now, therefore I, Thomas M. Benito, Mayor of the City of Boston, do hereby proclaim today, November 14, 2009, to be Leonard Nimoy Day in the City of Boston. That's a mouthful.
Is that all there is to it?
That's it. That's all there is.
Do I get a key to the city or a free meal?
You get a free meal.
Do I get to visit the city hall or something?
I'm going to call him and see what we can do about that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Great pleasure. Thanks a lot. That's great. That's great. Thank you. It's good to see you all here. I get these strange notes from people. Why did William Shatner try to drown you? I don't know how these rumors get started. Star Trek 4, you remember he threw me in the water? Why did he do that? I don't know. I was wearing a very absorbent robe. When I get in the water, it soaked up maybe 15, 20 pounds of water. And I went to the bottom like a rock. Did Shannon come down after me? No. Was he trying to drown me? I don't know. Will you be on Fringe again? Well, I did 3 episodes. 2 of them have aired. 1 more will air sometime in the next few weeks. I don't have the date. So there's that at least. And we're talking about, I really don't know about all. Can you get me John Delancey's phone number? Or it says Zachary Quinto. I get you both. Who sent me this? Yeah. Is John here? I have his phone number. I'll get it for you. Could I have an autograph for my grandfather? That's sweet. Oh, that's sweet. Used to be kids would say to me, my parents are crazy about you. And now the parents are saying, my kids are crazy about you. They're watching the DVDs. It's great. We're spanning the generations again. You have a photography show over in Massachusetts? Yes, and about a year ago, I did some photography work at, do you all know about my photography? If you don't, go to leonardnimoyphotography.com. That's my website, and take a look. There's a gallery in Northampton that shows my work. They do a great job, and about a year ago, we photographed some people there. You might find this interesting. We photographed almost 100 people who were invited to come to have their portrait done by me, but they were invited to come as their secret or hidden self. It was really interesting. And 25 of those portraits and the video of my conversations with all these people will be shown at Mass MoCA. You know where Mass MoCA is? At North Adams, Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art in North Adams. Great museum. Next summer. So watch for that. You might want to go and see that exhibition, those of you who are able to get there. The photography has been very gratifying for me. I started shooting pictures when I was about 12 or 13 years old, and developing my own prints. I still have a picture of my grandfather that I shot on the banks of the Charles River in 1944. I still have that photograph. I shot that picture of him and printed it myself, and I still have the print. Photography has been a great outlet for me creatively. And some years ago, when I considered changing careers, I went to study seriously at UCLA for quite a while, and started turning out some work that is now in museums and galleries around the country. So it's nice to have credibility. As a matter of fact, a few months ago, my wife and I were at a theater event in Los Angeles, and when it was over, we were walking through the parking lot, and we were walking with Tom Hanks. And the young man recognized him and came running up with a camera and said, Mr. Hanks, can I have my picture taken? Can I have a picture taken with you? And Hanks said, sure, okay, who's going to take the picture? Then the young man recognized me. And he said, Mr. Nimoy, you're a wonderful photographer. Would you take the picture? That young man now has a picture of himself with Tom Hanks taken by Leonard Nimoy. That's pretty good. So, have you seen any good movies lately? I thought it was a terrific movie. The new one, terrific movie. And I thought the whole cast was good. Zachary Quinto and Chris Pine, and all of them, wonderful, wonderful. And I thought J.J. Abrams, the director, did a great job. I thought they really captured the sense of what the original cast was really all about, what the chemistry was all about with the cast, And it was interesting to see how they developed each one's individual story and how they all came together. And then, of course, there's Spock and Uhura in a whole different thing. I was so jealous. Oh, if I were only about 50 years younger, wouldn't I? They're wonderful. Zachary Quinn was terrific, and they're all of them wonderful, wonderful people and very talented people. And I understand there's a story being developed now for another Star Trek movie. I know that I've been asked a lot whether I'm going to be in it. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I really think that I sort of served the purpose. They needed a bridge from the original cast to the new cast and to kind of a crossover. And I served the purpose to do that, and I was really, really happy to do it. I was very touched when they contacted me because as you know, I was away from Star Trek for a long time. I don't remember when was the last Star Trek I acted in. It would have been what? 91? Is that the last time I worked in Star Trek? What was that? It was Star Trek 6. 91. Good for you. You make a living doing this? You could. Well, thanks. Yeah, so 91, so that's what, 18 years, right? 18 years ago. I was away for 18 years. And when they contacted me and they asked me if I would come and talk to them about a Star Trek movie, I thought, well, this was a big time. Wow. I really thought it was over for me. We had a couple of wonderful conversations. Mr. Abrams and Bob Orsi and Alice Kritzman, who were going to write the picture. And the way they talked about Star Trek and the way they talked about the characters and their feelings about the Spock character were very touching to me because it's nice to be remembered that way and to be found useful again. So I said that I was interested and I would read the script, which I did. I thought very highly of it. I said I would be happy to be involved. And it was a great experience. I had a great time. And when I came on the set, all the young people were appropriately intimidated by me. Shh, the old guy's coming on. The original is here. Spock time is coming. Whoa, look out. Everybody behave now. Or he'll neck pinch you. We had a great time. It was really good. It was really good. You are entitled to ask questions. Do you know that? You're allowed to ask questions. And there's a microphone back here if you want to step up to the mic and speak directly into it and ask me your question, and I might even answer. I'll
try. I am one of the newer fans, and I did come to it from the movie, and I was...
Just let's pack up your thing.
Sorry.
You sound to me very nervous. I can't imagine why. Where do you live?
I live in New York.
In New York? You came here for this?
Yeah. I would be honest, because it's a huge compliment to you, actually.
You better be honest, because I read minds. I'll do a mind meld on you.
I actually was not planning on coming to the convention, and then I said to myself, you are not actually going to give up an opportunity to meet Leonard Nimoy, are you? And so I came to the convention. Yes, I came from New York to meet you.
Well, you said you're new to Star Trek? What is that about?
Yeah, my dad was a fan of the original Star Trek series, and over the years I've had friends who were fans of it, and I just never quite got into it. And then one of my friends kind of dragged me to the movie, and I fell absolutely in love with the movie, and I loved your character in the movie as well as a lot of the others, and I kind of went, you know, you really should actually give the show a chance. And so I started watching it and enjoying it very
So
much.
now what you have to do now is memorize all the episodes.
My question though was, I was wondering how you felt about that there are people now, you know, and I know other people who are in the same situation, who saw the movie and then kind of went back and you know, really fell in love with the TV show.
Yeah, I think it's just, you're absolutely right. It is happening. I'm very excited about it actually, because I think we've been away, the original ideas and the original cast have been away from Star Trek for so long that a lot of people never did know or had forgotten what the original series was all about and what started the whole thing. And I think it's just wonderful for people to be able to go back and appreciate that, because I think we did a lot of good work in the 60s. And it's great to be appreciated again now. We had a terrific, wonderful, intense following all through the 60s and 70s, through the late 60s and all through the 70s. And then gradually, people became involved with the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Enterprise and so forth. And the origins were sort of lost. But it's very exciting to me that an audience is rediscovering the original series. I'm very proud of that, very flattered by it, because I think we did some worthwhile work. Did you drive here or fly, or how did you get here?
I took a bus from New York.
You took a bus from New York? Great, okay. Well, thanks for coming. It's great to see you.
Thank you for answering my question.
Hi. Who's this? Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Kate Ellen.
Kate?
Kate Ellen.
Kate Ellen.
Yes.
You live in Boston?
Oh, I live in New Jersey.
Why don't we all just go to New York and New Jersey together? Visit all these nice people in their homes. Give us your address, we'll be there tomorrow. Thanks for coming, Kate Ellen. What's your question?
Well, before I ask my question, I just want to say that your episode of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is my absolute favorite episode. And whenever I have it saved on my computer, whenever I'm feeling down, I always listen to it and it cheers me up. So thank you very much. And my friend who lives in Pennsylvania who couldn't be here wanted me to ask you what you studied when you were in school, and how did you go from whatever that was to becoming an actor?
What I said when I was in school?
What you studied, like what was your major?
Oh, what was in school, my major? Okay. I graduated from Boston English High School. And I went to BC for a summer course, for 8 weeks, a theater summer course, in the summer of 1949. Actually, I was really given a wonderful blessing. I was in a play acting here in Boston that was directed by a friend of mine who was a student at BC. And the man who was the head of the drama program at BC, Father John Bond, Jesuit priest, came to see the show. And he came backstage afterward, and he was going around saying hello to all the cast. When he came to me, and this was in the spring of '49, he said, well, what are you doing this summer? I said, I don't have any plans. He said, well, you do now. And he put me in school in BC for 8 weeks on a summer program. And he gave me a half scholarship, and the other half came from an organization called the West End House. I grew up in the West End. So these people were very good to me. I was 18 years old. They sponsored me for the summer, and I went to school there for that 8-week course. And then I got on a train at South Station, and I went to California. I spent 3 days and 3 nights on a coach seat. Don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's how I started. I started acting here in Boston when I was about 8 years old. There was a place called the Elizabeth Peabody House on Charles Street, facing the Charles River. For many years there was a sign that said, if you lived here, you'd be home now. And it was right there. The building was right there. The whole West End was torn down. My family finally had to move out. But I was gone before it was torn down. And my parents moved out to Dorchester, where my dad had a barber shop on Willow Avenue. But anyway, that's how it all started. Because I was acting at the Peabody Playhouse, and then I was doing plays around town. Father Bond put me in Boston College, and then I went to the Pasadena Playhouse in Los Angeles, and then I went out and started looking for work. That's the way my career started, okay? Thanks for your question. Hi, come on up.
I wanted to know, did you start to feel and have an affinity with Chris Pine as you do with Mr. Shatner in your Kirk-Spock interaction?
Yeah, what a great question. I thought he did a terrific job. He captured something about Bill's attitude and personality without imitating it. And I think that was a very smart move, because it could become an imitation which would not have been fun to watch. But he was very, very good, and particularly the scene that we had together around the fireplace, and the goodbye scene when I took the battle and sent him off to the Enterprise. Was it the Enterprise or something? Yeah. I enjoyed working with him. He's a very good actor, very intelligent actor, and I say exactly the same thing about Zachary Quinto. He's terrific. They sent me some footage of him because my contract called for consultation on the casting of whoever was going to play Spock. So they sent me some footage of Zachary from some other work that he had done and asked me my opinion. I looked at it and I decided that you should hire him. He looks enough like me to make it believable, and more important, he has an intelligence when he works. He has an inner life that's going on. You can tell that he's a thoughtful person. I think that's important for the character. So I was very happy with both of them. I thought they were both terrific. Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Is there any particular project you'd like to work on?
Any particular project?
Aside from your photography?
No, that's really where I'm spending my creative energy these days, is the photography work. We just showed some of the work at the museum in Los Angeles, or in Santa Monica Museum of Art. Showed about a dozen of my prints, and the video that I talked about. There's a 40-minute video which will be playing at the museum in North Adams. But that's where my creative energy is going right now. Thank you.
I'll have to remember to get a ticket to LA sometime.
Okay, all right. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent.
Good. Long-time Trekkie, born and raised.
Yeah.
And I have a question.
You live here, I hope you live here in Boston.
Sadly, I do not. I'm from Dallas, Texas originally, and I came in today from Detroit.
Is there anybody here from Boston? Okay, from Detroit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks for coming. How are you? Good. Welcome to Boston.
Thank you.
What's up?
I'm a theater student, and I was going to ask you, as someone who's played a character that is iconic through generations and has spanned decades, how do you continue to grow as a character, but keep it loyal to what the fans expect?
Ooh. Well, of course, you understand that we have writers, the people who write, they were using typewriters and then computers. They hand you pieces of paper, and the paper tells you what you're going to say. So I can't take the credit for keeping the character intact or authentic. But the Spock character, joking aside, the Spock character went through some very interesting changes over the years. And the earliest Spock was quite different than the way my Spock ended up. Interestingly enough, Zachary Quinto was playing a Spock that was before the Spock that I played in the series. So he was somewhat different, appropriately. He was somewhat different than what I was in the series, in his character, because his character hadn't quite found his balance yet. There was still quite a bit of emotion cooking there. I thought it was amazing when he refused to enter the academy because they were so condescending about his race. And he said, "Live long and prosper." I don't think he means it. I thought it was wonderful, wonderful. So the Spock arc was interesting to me. It kept me interested in the character, and I thought the writer did some very interesting work. There were certain Spock touches that I introduced, but by and large it had to be done by the writers. They deserve a lot of credit for what they gave me on the page to work with. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. But where are you studying theater?
Eastern Michigan University.
Where is that?
It's in Ypsilanti, just outside of Ann Arbor.
In Ypsilanti. What a great name.
I know, isn't it?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
Where are you from?
I was born here in Boston.
Oh, good.
I live nearby. It's a little postage stamp up on the New Hampshire border, but I'm still a Boston Joe boy.
Where do you live now?
It's up in Townsend, Mass.
Ah,
A little
okay.
postage stamp like
Ah,
3 miles from New Hampshire.
okay, good, all right.
First and foremost, I am a huge Star Trek fan.
Thank you. What do you do? What is your work?
I do loss prevention.
Loss prevention?
Mm-hmm.
Like you prevent people from stealing stuff? What do you do?
That's right.
Is that what you do? Yeah?
Mhm.
You're a security person?
A little of both.
A little security, little person?
I'm the uniformed LP that's out front while we have plain clothes in the back.
Okay.
I'm the deterrent.
Okay.
Someone else, I assist with the apprehensions.
Okay. What's your question?
Well, my question's about some of your other work, the 1986 Transformers film.
Oh, yeah.
There was a long-running rumor that when Orson Welles had passed, that you did some of his lines towards the end.
I don't think that's true.
Excellent.
We're going way back. What year would that have been?
Oh, it was 86.
86, so that's 23 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember up until about 22 years ago.
And,
No, I don't recall doing any of Mr. Wells' work. I really don't. But I'll give you a little interesting information about Transformers. The new Transformers films are made by a man named Michael Bay.
Yep, this is what I was going to ask
You know about that?
Mhm.
Okay.
I saw it.
My wife is Susan Bay Nimoy. She and Michael Bay are cousins, first cousins.
I have heard that people that
You
ask.
think Michael Bay would hire me to do a voice on Transformers? No.
That's a damn shame. It's a damn shame.
Is that weird? People say in show business it depends on who you know. Well, I know Michael. And I can't get him to hire me to do a voice on Transformers. I think it's just terrible.
That's a damn shame.
And I think everybody in this room should write him a letter. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Nimoy. Big fan here.
Thank you.
What was it like directing Star Trek 3 and 4, especially working with William Shatner, the original cast?
Who? What does he do? William? Yeah. Well, I must say that when I first got the job and we came to work on the first day on the set, there was a little bit of like, when is this going to work? I think, in fact, some of the cast have said that they really wondered whether this was an ego trip, or whether I knew what I was doing. And it took a little while, maybe, I mean, not long, went to work and did the day's work, and little by little people started saying, I think he knows what he's doing. So it was okay. Bill and I are very, very good friends. During the making of the original series in the 60s, we were competitive. We were like brothers in a competition. There was a sibling, it's called sibling rivalry. But over time, we came to respect that each other was contributing to the show. The original captain, when we made the first pilot, was Jeffrey Hunter. Very good actor, but very different than Bill Shatner in his acting style. Just very, very different. Very intelligent actor, very talented actor. When we came, that first pilot with Jeffrey Hunter did not sell. Not his fault at all. But the story, the production, whatever, didn't make it onto the network, and they decided to try again with a different kind of script. And then we discovered that Jeffrey Hunter was not available. So they hired Bill Shatner. I have always said, I really believe that worked better for me as Spock, because Bill was, as we know, so energetic and so out there and robust about his performance, which Jeffrey Hunter was not. It was much more thoughtful, which left room for a very thoughtful Spock to stand beside him and work with him. And we came to respect each other's contribution greatly, and we see each other whenever we can. My problem the same place for a minute. He's all over. He goes from here to there, I'm going to catch a plane, I'm done. So, but it worked out quite well. And then, of course, I directed the 2 films, 3 and 4, and then Bill had his shot at number 5. I don't think they gave him a very good script, frankly, but we've become very good friends. And it started off a little rocky, but it worked out fine. I want to say, and answer one of the earlier questions about the development of the Spock character. It's interesting to me, but thinking about it now, this, in the relationship with Kirk, Spock became, I would say, my Spock Prime became much more human and relaxed about himself, about his condition in the end, in this last film. But one of my favorite moments in the series, I think it was in an episode called Devil in the Dark, when at the end, when we're doing our wrap-up scene on the bridge, Spock and McCoy and Kirk, and Kirk says to Spock something like, Spock, I think there's hope for you, you're becoming more human all the time. You remember that scene? Yeah. And Spock says, Captain, I see no reason to stand here and be insulted. I thought that was classic early Spock, and we evolved into something else. Anyway, the relationship with Bill Shatner is great. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Nimoy. I just want to say I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I'm a huge fan of yours. I love everything you've done. Your literary works, your theater works, your photography. And I'm very fortunate to have been able to download the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins onto my iPod. My question is, will you honor all of us by doing a live rendition of it right now?
Who sent you here? Did Bill Shatner tell you that?
I was there.
In the first place, when did I do that recording? 1970? Am I right? Something like 1970. 67. During the making of the series, so this would have been around 1967, somebody from the Studio of Business Affairs came to me and said, there's a man going to make a recording, an album of music, space music, Star Trek music. And they're going to put your picture as Spock on the cover. And they want to know if you want to do anything on the album. So I said, well, I think if Spock's going to be on the outside, maybe something should be on the inside. So I went to New York and spent a couple of days and did some recordings. I think there are 12 cuts on that album. I think I did 6, 3 talk pieces and 3 songs. The album sold quite well. And the company, Dot Records, asked me to do some more albums, and we did a total, I think, about 6 albums over the years. The gentleman who produced those albums was a man named Charles Brion. We became very good friends. And eventually he contacted me, I think we were done with those albums, and he contacted me and said, I got a song that I think you might have some fun with. And it was the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins. Well, I had been reading the trilogy, the Hobbit stories, and I thought this is a fun thing. The kids will enjoy it. It's a fun song. And it was about 30 years before the Lord of the Rings movie. We were way, way, way ahead of the curve on that song. So I did it, and then we did a video of it. And now, I guess because of the Ring trilogy, the movies, that thing has popped up all over the place. It's had over 1 million hits on the internet. Is that you hitting it? So it goes in the middle of the earth, in the land of Shire, there's a brave little hobbit who we all admire. Right? Long wooden pipe, fuzzy wooden toes, he lives in a hobbit hole, and everybody knows him. Bilbo Baggins, the greatest little hobbit of them all. That's all you get. just be careful what you do in life because it might come back to haunt you. No, I thought it was a lot of fun. I had a great time doing it, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. Yes, hi.
Hi. I came up from North Carolina.
Really?
Yes, grew up in Korea. Yes.
I was there not very long ago. I spoke at a resort place. I wish I could remember the name of it.
So do I.
I'm sorry?
DeForest Kelly was the only person in the cast without an accent.
That's clever. Yeah. What a great guy. What a great guy. I had fun. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. A wonderful North Carolina person. Did he come from North Carolina?
Georgia,
From Georgia.
Atlanta.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay. Close
Yeah,
enough.
close enough, indeed.
Yeah.
Up here, close enough. The last time we talked was backstage at the Peachtree Playhouse in 1980.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
After a wonderful performance of Vincent.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Wonderful.
you. Thank you.
And I have an appreciation for your photography as well. I'm an advertisement for you here. And
Come on up here and let everybody see this photograph. Come on up here. This lady's wearing a t-shirt that has one of my photographs on it. You got it from the website, is that right? Yeah. Come on up and stand up here and line. There it is, good for you. This photograph was shot at the Hammer Museum in Los Angeles. It is my version of a painting by Henri Matisse called The Dance. And this was a group of burlesque performers who came from San Francisco and were working in Los Angeles on this particular date. And we brought them to the Hammer Museum and we got this photograph in the same kind of conformation as Henri Matisse's painting. And it's in the book called The Full Body Project. It's a story, the book is a photographic essay on the subject of body image in our culture, which is a whole interesting story. I think it's interesting. We are so obsessed with the way we look in this culture and so obsessed with body weight. And there's a tremendous industry built up around telling women, you don't look right. Buy this diet, buy these pills, buy this exercise program, buy this surgery, and maybe we'll get you closer to what you really should look like. And it's, I think it's kind of cruel, frankly, to be telling people you don't look right. I think you look wonderful. What's your question?
Well, how can I become one of these models?
Do you have the book? The Full Body Project? You have the book, yeah. Well, yeah, and the Shafina book as well. Well, bless you. But I'm finished with that project and I moved on to Secret Selves. So we're a little past that. But thanks for your interest and thanks for being modeling for us here today. Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot. Good to see you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Jerome Connor. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. As a matter of fact, I'm the regional coordinator for New England for Starfleet International, the International Star Trek Fan Association.
Whoa.
We're 4,000 members strong.
This is an important person. You're the original coordinator?
Regional.
Regional coordinator.
Yes, sir.
For?
Starfleet International, the International Star Trek Fan Association.
Yes, sir. Great. Okay. How did you get that position?
I've been a member for 20 years, and I basically just worked my way up. And I was voted in by the presidents of the chapters in New England.
Good for you. All right. Okay. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Where do you live?
I live in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, a suburb of Lowell.
Okay. Okay. What's happening in Lowell? Lowell used to be a big textile town.
It's not so much as high tech now, and the mills are very expensive condos, and they're really renovating the town and turning it very renaissance of a variety of different things.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. A lot of these textile towns in Massachusetts just were really damaged badly in terms of business. It just shut down. As a matter of fact, the Museum of Contemporary Art in North Adams, Mass MoCA, is all based in what used to be mill buildings that shut down some years ago, and the whole town died. And Mass MoCA has revived the town by creating that museum, so that's good news.
Absolutely.
Okay, you have a question?
Yes, sir. My question for you is since Star Trek has been around for well over 40 years now, and you've been an integral part of it, how do you feel about how Star Trek and what it represents, especially the original series, has permeated culture and society throughout the world?
Well, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. We took on some very interesting and important issues. And I would hope that the future movies will do the same thing again. This last movie was preoccupied with loyalty and camaraderie and building a team to put the Enterprise into space as a functioning, functional entity. And I think they did a very good job with that. I'm hoping that in the future they will get on to doing some of the things that we took on. They should take on global warming, they should take on terrorism, they should take on some of these issues that we are so preoccupied with today and make some comment on it, because that's what science fiction does best, is to put the stories in the future that make comment on our present condition. And I think we did that very well in the 60s, and I'd like to see them get back to doing that in the future. And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Nimoy.
Yeah, hi.
I want to thank you for making my weekend and everybody in this room their weekend as well.
Thank you very much.
I'm an old fan from way back. I used to audio record the show by the speaker so I could listen to it later.
You audio recorded the show?
I was desperate.
Wow. Okay.
I love
Is that legal? I don't know if that's legal.
I'm gonna have to destroy those tapes.
No, don't destroy them. Don't tell anybody outside this room that you have them.
I love Star Trek 4, and I love the way you did the time travel scene in Star Trek 4, where you didn't use the big explosions and the star scenes. You did a very contemplative thing with the statues.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the thought processes that went into that, where that came from a little bit?
Thank you. That's an interesting question. I decided when we were developing that sequence, the time travel sequence, that we should focus on the experience of the individual people on the bridge, and we started by zooming in on Bill Shatner, and then we painted the entire set white, so it became kind of surreal. It became dreamlike, and each of the cast, including myself, were photographed 360 degrees in a very special photographic technique, so that they could create these 360-degree images of the heads of each of us, which could rotate. And the idea was that each of us were going through this time travel process individually and sort of mentally and metaphysically, in a sense. And so it would have a surreal quality. That's how the whole thing evolved. It was pretty simple, and I think it was effective. You're right, it did not have a lot of bombast, it did not have enormous special effects components. It was quite simple, it was cerebral, and if you think it worked, I thank you for that. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks. Hi.
I was just wondering, it seems that you and William Shatner have a really good humorous chemistry. I was wondering, have you two ever considered like starting your own sitcom or something like that?
I'm not sure I quite understood what you said. Did I ever consider starting what?
Starting a sitcom.
A sitcom. Bill Shatner and I in a sitcom. Well, we just tried Priceline commercials together, which I don't know. He's been doing a series called Raw Nerd. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Interviews. And I did one with him, which I thought was quite effective. I think he's very good at it. I really do. I think he's very good at probing and getting to some interesting aspects of the lives of the people that he talks to. And I think we did some interesting stuff on that show. The conversation was interesting. We also did a very interesting DVD called Mind Meld together, which was with...
I saw saw that.
You did, yeah. So that's where you got the idea that we should do a sitcom.
Last night in your performance in the Dragon Con convention back in September.
Yeah, were you there?
No, but I saw a video on
For the
YouTube.
video, yeah. The first thing I said to him when we came out together to do our panel, the very first thing I said to him was, have you seen any good movies lately? Obviously, I was referring to the fact that he has not seen the Star Trek movie. Now, he may have seen it since then, I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks, but he had not seen it. And we had a good time together. We really didn't we? Yeah. Yes. You sound kind of tentative. Are you not sure that we had a good time? Yeah. Did I say something wrong? Anyway, I think it's an interesting idea. I think he's too busy. He's got so much to do. He's got Priceline to do, and he's got Broadway to do, and he's got convention appearances to do, and he's got his horses that take up a lot of time. And I think he's too busy. But I'll ask him if he would be interested. And I'll tell him maybe that there's a couple of people who'd like to see that. Thank you. Yes, hi. What a great hat you're wearing.
Well, thank you. Well, first of all,
What is that all about, that hat? What is it?
oh, well, there's a costume contest stuff with this, so. But, yeah. First of all, thank you for singing that song. My friend who's I'm here with, she can't be in here because she sometime in her past, made me promise up and down that I wouldn't ask anything about that song, so we gotta take care of it. But secondly, I'm on a bit of a
Did
mission.
you have a bet on it?
No.
I was hoping maybe we could make some money together here.
No, unfortunately, it's just,
Okay.
it's a song that I knew, and I've been, every time we're stuck in a line, I've just been like, it'll go, it's just like, shut up. Secondly, I got an autograph from you earlier, and I keep getting ripped because I kind of froze up, and I was on a mission from my mom to let you know that she has been a fan of yours since she first saw you on TV.
Where is your mom?
She's in Boston Spa, New York, just south of Saratoga Springs,
Okay.
where the horses are.
Well, you be sure to say hello to her for me.
Okay.
And tell her that we wish that she had been here to hear me sing Go Go Back. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Nimoy.
Good.
First of all, I just want to say that I've been a fan of Star Trek and I've been a fan of yours ever since I was a young kid watching the large sci-fi block on one of the local stations.
Uh-huh.
I just have a question for you. Was there ever a single film or play that inspired you to become an actor, that made you say, I want to do this with my life?
Thank you. Yeah, as a matter of fact, there was. I started, I think I mentioned earlier, I was on stage from the time I was 8 years old at the Peabody House, the Peabody Playhouse. Around 1946 or 47, there was a production of a play called Awake and Sing by a playwright named Clifford Odets. Odets was a very successful playwright in the 30s and 40s. At one time, he had 3 plays running simultaneously on Broadway. And Awake and Sing was a play that was about a Jewish family in the Bronx, 3 generations living in one apartment together. And I played the young guy in that family. And the play was very much like what was going on in my own family. We were 3 generations living here in Boston. My grandparents, my parents, and my brother and I all in a 2-bedroom apartment. And the dynamic of that life and what that young guy that I was portraying was going through was exactly what I was going through. How do you find the right job for yourself? How do you get out of this kind of environment? How do you find out what's right for you to do in the world? How do you find the right person to have a relationship with, if you get married or whatever? And I identified with it so strongly that I thought, if I could do this kind of work that touches audiences about themselves, about their own lives, for the rest of my life, I would consider that to be a blessed thing. And that's the play that made me decide that I wanted to be an actor. And as a matter of fact, there was another Odette's play in town at the Wilbur Theater that was on its way to Broadway. It was called The Big Knife. And a couple of the people from that cast came to see us because they had been in the original production of Awaken Sing. The next morning, I called around the hotels around Boston to see if I could find any one of those actors. And I got a hold of an actor named J. Edward Bromberg at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Got him on the phone. I said, I played Ralphie in the play you saw last night. He said, oh yeah, very good, yeah, thank you. And what can I do for you? And I said, I want to be an actor. I want to be a professional actor. What should I do? And he's the one who said, go to the Pasadena Playhouse in California. They have good classes there, and you might get picked up for a contract by a studio or get yourself in movies or TV or whatever. And that's how the whole thing started. So it all started because of that production of Awaken Sing at the Olympic Beauty Playhouse. Thanks for your question.
No, thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Steve.
Yeah, I'm well, thank you.
30 years ago, I had an incident that occurred, and I promised myself if I ever had the chance, I'd let you know about it. I was a young Green second lieutenant at Fort Dix in the U.S. Army. One day, I was showing recruits how to take apart a PR-77 field radio, and I was having a devil of a time doing it. We had a really mean company commander, and the commander comes over, the captain comes over, he says, what's wrong here, Lieutenant? And I was just so frustrated, I looked up at him and I said, Captain, I am attempting to fix a PR-77 field radio using only knives and bearskin. The punchline is, this mean captain comes up to me, much to my surprise, leans into my ear and says, cut out the BS, Mr. Spock, and fix it. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a great line by a wonderful writer named Harlan Ellison. Yes. I think the episode was City on the Edge of Forever. City on the Edge of Forever, yes. Thank you very much. Harlan Ellison gave us a wonderful script. Yes, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
First of all, welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're glad to have you back. I grew up 8 miles north of here.
Thank you.
You were talking about how busy William Shatner is, but frankly, you seem just as busy to me. And you do so many things, and you act, and you do the writing, and you do photography, and you still find the time to come to these conventions and meet hundreds of people and everything. And it's a real inspiration to anyone who wants to work in the arts to show that you can still do all these different things and still be good at what you do. And I was wondering if you had any, insight into how you handle that and how you make it work.
Wow, what a big question. Are you hoping to have a career in the arts?
I want to be a writer.
You want to be a writer? Are you writing?
Yes.
What do you write?
Right now I'm working on short stories.
Short stories?
Mm-hmm.
Are you studying somewhere?
Well, I'm studying at Keene State College in New Hampshire.
In where?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And are you studying writing?
No, I'm studying for something that will hopefully pay.
I'm going to tell you a couple of stories that might be useful to you. When I told my dad I was going to be an actor, he said to me, my dad grew up in Russia and came over here as an immigrant and worked very, very hard. He was a hard-working, very uncomplicated guy. He was a barber all his life, stood on his feet and cut hair, 8, 10, 12 hours a day to support a family. And he was really unsophisticated. He had no idea how a person could make a living as an actor. And I said, I want to be an actor, Dad. He said, you're going to be hanging around with gypsies and vagabonds. That was his experience in the old country, in Russia. And then he said, he gave the only advice my dad ever gave me. He says, learn to play the accordion. He says, you can always make a living with an accordion. You can play weddings, you can play parties, you can play bar mitzvahs. I said, okay, Dad. I never did. I stuck to what I did, but I worked at a lot of other jobs to support devote myself while I was trying to develop a career as an actor. And in 1956, I was just out of the Army, and while I was in the Army, stationed in Atlanta, Georgia, my daughter Julie was born, and by the time we came out, my son Adam was expected, and I came back to no career. I've been in Los Angeles for 4 or 5 years and done a few things, but not enough to have a career to come back to. So I needed to go to work immediately to have some income to support us while I began looking again for acting work. And I took a job driving a taxi in Los Angeles. And I'd been on the job a couple of months when one night I got a call to go to the Hotel Bel Air and pick up Mr. Kennedy. Yeah, wow. So being from here, the Kennedy name meant something to me. Early 1956, it was an election year. There was going to be a presidential election later that year. And I went to the hotel and I told the doorman, I'm here to pick up Mr. Kennedy. He said, okay, I'll let him know. And he came back, I said, he'll be out in a few minutes. I said, do you know if that's the senator from Massachusetts? He said, I don't know. The man came out and I recognized him immediately, and it was Jack Kennedy. And he got in my cab, and he said he wanted to go to the Beverly Hilton Hotel, which is not far, about a 10-minute drive. I said, sure, let's go to drive. And then I said, sure, how are things in Massachusetts, Senator? And he got kind of excited because somebody recognized him. It was later that year at the Democratic Convention when he made a speech where he got some national attention for the first time. But in California, nobody knew him. And he was pleased that somebody recognized him. He said, are you from Massachusetts? And I said, yeah. He said, where? I said, Boston. What part of Boston? I said, the inner city, the West End. Only about 3 blocks from where he had his office on, I think it was on Bolton Street or Temple Street. And he said, oh yeah, I know the area very well. I said, what are you doing out here? I said, I'm an actor. So he said, there's a lot of competition in your business. I said, yes. He said, just like mine. And then he said something that stood me in good stead for many, many years, and I'll never forget it. He said, just keep in mind, there's always room for one more good one. Now you might find that useful. I think you should. What that told me was, get to work and improve your skills. Work at it, work at it, work at it. And when the time comes when you have an opportunity to do something, be ready. Know your craft, learn your craft. That's the important thing, okay? That's the best advice I can give you today. Straight from Jack Kennedy to you. Great memories, great memories. I'll take one more question and we're going to have to wrap this up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I wanted to thank you for being here because it's my first convention ever, and I'm sure to never forget it then.
Great. You came dressed for the occasion.
I did.
All right, good for you. You're in uniform, yeah.
This is kind of off topic, but I wanted to thank you a lot for your active participation in embracing of Judaism because it's very personally affected me and helped me come to terms with my own family history. And it's just meant a lot to me. I don't have a particular question in mind, but I just want to express my gratitude for your photography and a few articles I've read and stuff like that. But it's meant a lot to me.
Good. Bless you. Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, folks. Sad to say, I have to wrap this up. I cannot tell you what a great pleasure. When I got a phone call that said, would you like to go to do a convention in Boston? And he said, yes, of course. It's one of the things that I look forward to, is coming back here and landing at Logan and driving through the Sumner Tunnel and coming into the city and pointing out to people driving with us. I used to work there and I sold papers here and this is where my brother worked and all that kind of stuff. My brother became a chemical engineer. He got his master's degree at MIT, brilliant scientist. The city was great to us as kids. The museums, the schools, the arts that are available here. As a kid, I went to concerts on the Esplanade. Arthur Fiedler was conducting, and we'd go there every night during the summer, and we'd be taken to the museums and the theaters. I used to see the plays of the Wilbur and the Colonial. That's so magicians I wanted to be a magician when I was a young kid. And I go to see the magicians when they played the Colonial Theater. And it was an exciting city to grow up in. I'm always grateful for what the city gave me. And then there was Father Bond, who put me in school in Boston College. So I have a lot of emotion connected to coming back here, and you people put me in touch with it, and I'm very, very grateful to you. To each and every one of you, may I say, live long and prosper, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Nimoy. Representing the Boston. Thank all of you for coming and seeing. Gospel competition will follow shortly.